Now to Amherst, where staff members of the Community Responders for Equity program were sworn in.
Western Mass News reporter Reagan Locree has more on their mission of safety and service.
We're the first program to stand up like this in New England. That's a responsibility.
More than a year ago, an alternative civilian police force was proposed in the town of Amherst to address racial inequalities in policing. On Tuesday morning, the first members of the Community Response for Equity, Safety, and Service, or CRESS, were officially sworn in.
From the get-go, the citizens of Amherst were really looking for an alternative to a lot of the things that really kind of get dumped on policing and fire for that matter.
We're told the goal of this diversity police force is to respond to nonviolent and non-criminal calls for service in place of town police officers. Western Mass News stopped by the ceremony where we caught up with Director of CRESS Earl Miller, who tells us they selected a qualified and diverse group of people for the job.
Nobody was tricked into this. They all knew we were honest during interviewing that this is going to be hard work, but I think the rewards are worth it.
Amherst Chief of Police Scott Livingstone tells us the calls for service could include responses to mental health issues, homelessness, and substance abuse matters, as well as wellness checks and problems involving youth in schools.
We came to an understanding and an agreement, and I was part of those discussions, as was my staff, that there were certain calls that just didn't necessitate an Amherst police officer to respond.
Director Miller tells us he took this job after 4 years with the State Department of Mental Health, and for him, this new approach is personal.
I'm somebody who's had my own challenges with mental health, and so really being someone who understands that the way systems work has a huge ability to change people's lives and hopefully bringing some compassion to that.
Chief Livingstone says while many officers were skeptical at first, he believes this will help to free up time for police to respond to more immediate and dire situations in the community.
Our officers in the beginning were like, well, what does that mean to us? As police officers, we're like, what it really means is there's going to be certain calls that we're hopefully never going to have to respond to again.
And he's looking forward to this program making a difference.
There's going to be a learning curve, but I think ultimately the collaboration that's been going on with the new CRESS director, the police and fire officers, it's going to be a really good program once we get the understanding down about what's going to work for this community.
Reporting for Western Mass News, I'm Reagan Locree.